What's up, tricksters, and welcome to the final episode of Omen to Immortal series, a series where I'm teaching you my best Radiant tips, tricks, and strategies for Omen. Last episode, after 41 games on a fresh new account, we reached Ascendant 2, and today I'm gonna showcase why you should main Omen in order to truly improve yourself as a SoloQ player, and how you can easily climb to the tippity top of the ranked jungle with this agent. If you have any questions about Omen, feel free to ask me down in the comments, and I highly recommend you to join my Discord server for professional Valorant coaching, because there you can also get access to the Omen ranked playbook with all of my strategies and tactics for every single map, which is gonna help you to unlock his full potential. Other than that, let me showcase you why Omen is still an S tier agent in Valorant, and let's see with what win rate we're going to end in this epic journey. The first match, we are starting on Bind, which is the best map for Omen mains. In the first round on Defender side, I always play B-side with my classic pistol shorty strategy, because B-side is your default site on Bind, site that is harder for retake and easier for post-plant, and I've already explained this tactic in the previous episodes of this series. But in this round, enemies pushed on the opposite side and we were left in a 3v4 retake situation, after our teammates on A side died faster than the ninja's streaming career. Now, usually when you're in numbers disadvantage, you need to isolate enemies and search for some smart picks. Two of my teammates are already playing together on a refrag potential, thus that is the reason why I didn't play with them. And since I have classic pistol with light shield, the easiest kills that I can get are in the lamps, because of the right click burst fire.
Oh, hams. Showers.
To dust.
Cypher showers.
Last player standing.
Classic is still definitely broken, and usually the best pistol for the first round on majority of Valorant maps. But right now, after taking those 3 stupido kills, I'm left with only 10 HP in a 1v1 scenario, and we need to turn on our Giga Brain. Winning a clean gunfight would be almost impossible, since Cypher can quite literally spit on me and kill me. But thankfully we're playing Omen and not some garbage agent such as Deadlock. I know that Cypher was last time seen inside of showers, and from that position he can easily kill me with some dead zone peek or bait me with his camera. That's why here I'm using one smoke at a pillar and one on a spike, in order to play with his brain and make him think that I'm coming from that specific direction.
Who's traveling?
Time, bro. Well played.
Remember that whenever you have plenty of time defusing the spike, don't be hasty. Play that specific round a bit slower and make the enemies overthink, because most of the time they will make some kind of a bad game decision, like for an example, pushing out of showers close to my smoke before I even started defusing the spike. Patience is the key to victory, at least victory of gunfights and rounds, because even though you're playing Omen, which is the king of Bind, sometimes your teammates are going to be peasants of Valorant. Now let's turn on the good mentality with happy vibes and finish this journey. In this round on Lotus, enemies stomped my teammates with a B-side split, and since Immortal players only see blood in their eyes, I kinda predicted that someone is gonna go on a hunt for more kills. After killing that chamber and making numbers advantage, enemies still didn't plant the spike on B side, which was a bit sus. And all 3 of us are playing alone, and in these scenarios, when you are 3v2, you need to make a good game decision with which teammate you want to play. Map control doesn't matter anymore, because we can easily play 3v2 retake on any bomb site. All that matters is that we preserve this advantage. That is why here I decided to play in 3 with my Raze, isolating majority of angles from which enemies can kill us, and I gambled on A-side finish. We're playing together on a refrag potential and also on a surprise mechanic as well, because there's no way that enemies will predict this level of smart team play. I'll pick.
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining. Spike planted. Battle out.
Now, being an IGL in ranked is almost impossible, but sometimes you need to micromanage your teammates like this in order to secure the rounds. In this game we won quite easily with my setups and strategies. But the question is, why did I choose to play with Raze rather than Killjoy? First of all, since enemies didn't initially plant the spike on B site, I knew that they are gonna finish on either A or C, because planting the spike on B site is quite dangerous at this moment of time, and we can easily punish them from 4 different locations. Second thing is that my Killjoy had a full setup for C site, and she seemed like a better player than Raze. Now, how do I know that Killjoy is better than Raze based only on 3 rounds? Well, with a help from Valorant Tracker by TRN, which you can download for free by using my link from the description. This application allows you to analyze yourself, and in the last episode of Jet to Immortal series, I've explained how to use this software in order to always understand which skill sets you can improve as a SoloQ player. But this software also allows you to analyze your teammates and enemies before the game has already begun, which can give you an edge to make good game decisions from the start. For an example, based on Valorant Tracker statistics, my Killjoy had 140 ADR, above 1 KD, 51% win rate in Immortal 2 with 75% KST. She's also maining Killjoy, and in this specific act she had 33 games played on this agent with a very good performance. On the other hand, my Raze had 120 ADR, 0.9 KD, 49% win rate in Ascendant 3 with 70% KST and a really poor overall performance. Also, she's not really the Raze main, but for some reason she decided to insta-lock Raze for this specific game. All of this led me to believe that my Killjoy is probably a bit more self-sustainable, smarter and disciplined player compared to our Raze. And beside all of that, my Raze was on a losing streak. So already from the start of this game, I knew that I had to keep an eye on this player, because she's gonna be a bit more emotional and make some irrational plays that I need to compensate with my smart utility usage and positioning. Usually at the start of every game, I take a sneak peek at Valorant Tracker from all of my teammates, in order to see how much I can rely on them, who do I need to support the most, and who is the most likely player to make some kind of a mistake. Obviously, this is not the only thing on which I rely to make my team play decisions, and players are extremely inconsistent from game to game, but it's a good helping tool in order to understand your teammates' playstyle and mentality a bit better. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I dodged quite a lot of games where I see that some of my teammates are on a heavy losing streak, especially if they are already toxic in the lobby. Valorant is more of a mental game than anything else, and if you lose 8 games in 4 hours, probably you're not in a good mental state to play your 9th match of that specific day. Now, even though this video is sponsored by Valorant Tracker, which I highly appreciate, and it would help me a lot if you use my link from the description to download the app for free, in some of my future videos, I'm gonna teach you how to use this software to gain an advantage over enemies and to increase your chances of winning SoloQ games with this useful data, baby. Now traveling to Fracture, we need to prepare you for this map because Little Bird told me that it's coming back in the next ranked episode. In the first round on attacker side, the best strategy is doing a 5-0 or 4-1 push onto B side through Arcade. Arcade area of this map is usually the easiest for attack, especially if enemies have some sentinels such as Cypher that can demolish your execute through B main area. This is the safest and best option to push in the early rounds. And in the first round with Omen on Fracture, I just go for my default smoke setup and I'm mainly playing as a support for my teammates. But if I need to do some aggression, I have plenty of executes where I can improvise. Just remember that in the first round, and whenever enemies are eco, halved by our bonus, you never want to push onto B tower from ropes in Arcade. You always want to push straight into the bomb site and then take the tower control with your teammates. Because up there, you never know when is Charlatan going to play with a shorty, judge or stinger.
Maybe tower.
Go! After opening bomb site and planting the spike, I've decided to cover flank through Arcade, because we had no one guarding this area in the post plant. And unfortunately, my teammates lost some 1v1 fights, which led us into a 2v2 situation where we were split apart from our Killjoy. And here, once again, I'm using my smoke on tower in order to make enemies overthink. Is he there or is he not? Charlatan Houdini keeping his location a secret since 2020, until we find some perfect opportunity to surprise and fight our enemies.
One enemy remaining.
Side.
Headshot.
Nice job, baby.
Now, in 24th round of this match, we are fighting for our life. We are on a 4v4 retake with Killjoys and Breach ultimate, and unfortunately I need to watch our back because throughout this whole game, enemy Cypher was only lurking and flanking. But as I was watching the flank, enemies pushed Killjoy and Neon, killing them both and the ultimate as well, which left us in a 2v3 scenario, so the Papito Charlatano needed to turn on his clutch genes.
Last player standing.
job, baby.
I mean, how many times do I need to repeat? Always play on the refrag potential, and it is better to fight together rather than fighting alone. If you're already 2 versus 1, play with your teammate, stick to his butthole and kill me. In-game, of course. Or in this example, Breach could have easily jump-spotted from tower to reveal my position and to see if I'm defusing the spike, while Cypher can make the Subway sandwich out of me from arcade. Jump spotting is definitely another mechanic that I see 90% of Valorant community is not using at all in order to gain information before a fight. And 50% of times in ranked SoloQ, I win the rounds only because of autopilot players that make some undisciplined and stupid mistakes like this. Unfortunately, the GigaChat Papito is playing Valorant without delay on his stream, and this is one of the rare games where enemy stream sniped me, because Immortal players are the living scum of this community, and they'll sacrifice their whole family for 20 rank rating. That's why the ending of this match was not that glorious, but I still tried my best. Remember, my friends, that if you end up in overtime, usually it's better to draw rather than continuing the game. Overtimes are extremely 50-50 and the match can go in anyone's favor, especially if you feel that your teammates are drained, toxic or bad. It's just better to move on to the next game rather than losing rank rating after playing 1 game of Valorant for an hour. Don't gamble, you XQC enjoyers, and grind smart. Also, please stop cheating and stream sniping, because getting rank rating like that doesn't mean anything if you're a shit player. That 1 game won't make you a Radiant, but you can always tune into my daily streams on twitch.tv/charlatan if you want to get some useful tips and tricks in order for us to make a good player out of you, baby. Now we're back on Bind, and we're trying to hit B side after failing our push on A. Whenever you're playing against Cypher, especially now after the Cypher buffs, you have 2 options. You're either gonna do some Omen aggressive play and try to kill him before he kills your teammates that are behind you, or you need to push a bit slower and try to destroy his utility before entering the site. In this situation, we decided to play a bit slower and see if he's maybe going to make some kind of an undisciplined mistake. But since we spent a lot of time in the garden, my teammates thought that the enemies have already pulled the rotation and they've used teleport to A, which then I used to capitalize on the Cypher kill.
It's definitely gonna still be 1A there.
Staying here was a bit of a gamble, since my teammates in showers could have easily died, but sometimes you need to make these risky plays to catch enemies off guard and make numbers advantage for your team, especially if you feel that your teammates are capable of playing a proper refrag game. And in this match, we were already winning 7-2, which led me to believe that my teammates are actually good.
1 enemy remaining.
There's nothing to say here. We had good teammates, we were playing Omen, the king of Bind, and we are 1 rank away from Immortal. But now is the time for my favorite C-side aggressive retake setup on Haven. You place a default smoke at the top of C-long, and when you're ready to go for a retake, you place a one-way smoke on top of the site like this. This specific smoke disallows enemies to play around the site, and they cannot peek us from multiple different locations. It also splits the site into 2 separate sectors, allowing us to take the space inch by inch, and we can isolate enemies into smarter and easier fights. But also, after using Paranoia in the middle of site, we can teleport into the smoke and make an enormous amount of pressure. From this position, we can use a second teleport anywhere to outplay enemies on sight. We can also do a fake teleport, making even more pressure and keeping our location a secret. We can also wait for our teammates to pick some fight with enemies and play on their contact from this location. This setup is your Omen playground. You just need to use your brain to pick a right timing and make the proper game decision.
Cover going out.
Enemy.
Blinding.
1 back side.
Enemy remaining. Last player standing. Spike down.
Always
C.
one, man, always one, always one. Always one, always one.
What a fucking play, I saw that.
Thank you. Now on Sea of Haven, this is usually my default post-plane position from which I love to support my teammates that are playing on the site, and to throw off enemies' crosshair placement a bit as they're going for a retake. Elevated positions are usually the best spots that you can play with Omen, and you should play them 24/7.
I trolled.
One enemy
City,
remaining.
close, backside.
Play together.
Planted.
It is done.
Now I know that this is the Eco Cobra round, but Stinger is one of the best weapons that you need to learn how and when to play in Valorant. In 70% of Ecos, Anti-Ecos, Halbais and bonus rounds, I play Stinger over any other weapon, because it's simply broken once you learn how to control and abuse it.
One even.
Two flanking, two.
One even.
Two on Omen. Two guys on Omen. One more. Four bullets.
One enemy remaining.
And four bullets is enough.
4 bullets, more than enough for me, man. 1 HP.
Thank you for the carry.
Remember, my friends, always track the enemy's ultimate abilities. Here we were playing 4v4 post plant, but staying on site or tower would be an absolute sudoku against Breach and Brimstone ultimate. That's why I repositioned into B main as soon as I realized that we can just get stumped on the site. Yes, I didn't fight with my teammates, but sometimes it's better to stay alive alone and clutch the round, rather than dying together in pain.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
He's ulti.
Is cover going out.
12 HP. Nice.
Nice, well done.
Jesus Christ, man! By the way, not only does the Jesus Crosser gives you 20% aim boost, but also 20% better teammates. Full boosting mode, brothers. Now, this is just one of my standard aggressive plays that I do on A side of Bind, but this round is also a good example of why you need to master using variety of weapons. You need to become the John Wick of Valorant. I just see that a lot of players, when they're playing Eco or Halbei rounds, they kinda give up mentally, like the round is not winnable at all. I behave towards every round and every game as if it is 100% winnable, no matter what, and I try to make the most out of every situation. In this round, I have only Shorty and Light Shield, and I feel as powerful and in control of this round as if I'm using Vandal with Heavy Shield. I'd say that 5 main things that allow me to consistently grind and get Radiant in Valorant are the following. Number 1, good mentality with mindset to always grind, learn and improve. Number 2, proper economy management where I've mastered variety of weapons, which makes me a good teammate and a deadly opponent in every single round. Number 3 is my clutch potential and adaptiveness, where even if you leave me in a 1v5 scenario, I can make the most out of it and I feel in control. Number 4 is definitely my discipline and patience. And number 5 is obviously my game knowledge and decision making. I obviously don't bring any firepower into my team, since I'd say that I'm the bottom of Radiant when it comes to aiming, and some Immortal players have better aim than me. But not everyone can be like Demon 1 or 10s, and I truly believe that all of you can become papitos and mamitas. The next game was a pure team diff, nothing special happened and my Omen strategies on split are just impeccable, which means that we can move into the final game of this series. But if you already reached this part of the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, because in the following days I'll be releasing some of my private training routines and guides that I've never shared before, baby. And this final game of Omen to Immortal series was packed with Shorty action, and you wouldn't believe what happened in this match. I'm just gonna let you enjoy.
Is ready.
Spike down B.
In this match, I just abused enemies so much with my Shorty plays that on the half they had 2 players which were AFK, and it just proves my point that Immortal players truly have the worst mentality in Valorant, and that is one of the main things that is stopping them from reaching Radiant. My friends, you need to develop a strong grinding mentality with discipline and smart gameplay. Come on, come on, come on, rank up, right? Rank up, rank up, don't leave me on 99. Don't leave me on 99, yeah. This marks the end of our Omen to Immortal journey, and here are some Valorant tracker statistics of this account. From unranked to Immortal, we needed 50 matches with 74% win rate, which is 18% lower win rate compared to our Jet series. But to be honest, with Omen I was really holding back when it comes to my mechanical skill, and I was primarily trying to showcase my best strategies, tactics and setups that I have with this agent. Also on this account we had some teammates from Hell once we reached Ascendant and Immortal Elo. But I still believe that Omen, Jet and Raze are the top 3 agents for grinding ranks in Valorant. They can literally teach you everything about this game and improve all of your skill sets as a SoloQ player in a long run, because they're going to put you in an enormous amount of different scenarios where you can learn and grow as a player. Now, because you really enjoyed my Omen gameplay and playstyle, next year I'm going to do Omen to Radiant sequel of this series in order to showcase you how I carry with Omen in a really high elo lobbies with 100 top players in Radiant. But until then, remember that on my Discord server you can get a fully completed Omen rank playbook for your SoloQ grind on every single map. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you, my dear tricksters, in some future series or guides for your fast improvement. Cut, baby!